Now, one of the guys I really like is Jodorowsky, Alexander Jodorowsky.
Interesting.
Yes, I think he was really a vanguardist and
an Argentine.
And he was from Chile. Yeah, but with a character very similar to my culture, to the Argentinian culture. So the first movie I saw was The Topo some years ago, like when I was younger.
It was some time ago that we talked, but I saw and I understood and remembered the arthritis in her fingers of this old lady. And what I liked about it was that it was filmed and they really became like parts of a sort of mechanism. They were not human anymore. They were like, well, like a pianola or something.
Her boxes. So she was taking a lot of time with my grandfather dancing tango when I was a child, and I saw them dancing. But but after some years I was living with them. My grandfather got in very delicate situation because he got kind of Parkinson. So he was dying very slowly with knowing all the functions in the body. So I was with her together to take care of my grandfather. This is when I was younger that I decided to live with them and to left my father and my mother. So yes, after this decision, it's like I left my father and my mother because they divorced and I was not agree with no one of them. And I came directly to the family of my grandmother and my grandfather that they really care of me. But immediately my grandfather started to die, so then my connection with my grandmother became very strong, and we were helping each other.
There's so much I don't understand in these movies, that once in a while, when I do understand something, I feel very satisfied. Okay, I didn't pick up the tango. Was it the tango?
Yes, yeah, the music is tango.
Okay.
But he didn't know, and he. Yes. The name is. I mean, my grandmother was always playing in general tango, and she also has a big collection of long plays.
Siento el cantar de la chicharra con una conexión profunda.
I think it's a beautiful movie. And I love the view, your view of Holland. This misty snowy, the row houses taken from your window. I think that explains everything.
Sentado desde la otra orilla, puedo ver a mi pasado, mi país, tan solo como una compilación de imágenes que habitan en mi memoria.
I left my father and my mother because they divorced and I was not agree with no one of them. And I come directly to the family of my grandmother and my grandfather that they really care of me. But immediately my grandfather started to die, so then my connection with my grandmother became very strong, and we were helping each other.
Cuando tenía 10 años y mis padres se separaron, me preguntaron con quién de ellos quería ir. Mi respuesta fue que con ninguno de los dos.
There is kind of a feeling of memory and past and migration and what we have to leave behind.
Yeah, my God.
And I think black and white is associated also to, let's say, no, to the past. No, normally in the past the movies were made in black and white, so the pictures and yeah, I think this association of memory is. I think it's maybe you're feeling that these memories or this something that happened before, or an old lady like my grandmother. Maybe it's this.
Maybe it was maybe I saw green trees or greenery. I saw green. That's the only color that sort of comes up in my mind when I think of the movie.
Siempre me resultó difícil concebir la idea de hogar.
And the ideas. I mean, in the Auschwitz film, I only saw red bricks.
Red bricks.
Thank God, I got totally upset.
True.
I couldn't be anymore. And then we got this.
I think your and the Auschwitz, they're my two favorites. I think the Auschwitz film is very subtle too. It's very beautiful.
We're in a production line here. And this is running 24 hours a day.
Siento el cantar de la chicharra con una conexión profunda con las memorias de mi infancia.
But now I start to follow him again. Actually, in this process of Dune, for example, now there is a documentary of him. A big part of the ideas of the Hollywood movies were taken from his ideas, but his movie actually never became real. It was like a big script, it's a book, huge book. So he made this book, and if you see, there is many things that after in Hollywood they were producing and making commercial films or whatever. So I think he's a very talented director, and in the cult film I think is one of the best. Also I like David Lynch.
David Lynch,
yeah.
but David Lynch because they're nice. Yes.
Yeah. David Lynch decided to make the movie.
Ah, that's a Jodorowsky
Yes.
kind of idea.
Yes, so the movie Dune from David Lynch is actually
But
the...
how come you like? I mean, your film is quite a kind of very classical idea. You like Jodorowsky as this kind of serious director.
Yes.
You're totally different. Or
Yeah, I don't need to make the same that the things I like to be myself, not to be similar to another artist. Garden of the house, and we have a huge tree of avocados. So, and in this tree is full of these cicadas. It's a very common animal that normally in the naps is singing in the naps, and it has this special sound that is in the film. And also it's connected in some way because it's the house of my grandmother, and also my grandmother told me in the last interview I made to her before she died that she also was born in the naps, in the house of her grandmother. So she born also in the house of her grandmother during the naps. And for me, the naps in Argentina is the cicada.
so your next film is about a night and about being born, or?
I think my next film, I would like to take stories that are connecting with the same feeling. It's not fiction, it's not documentary. So I don't know if the film I made before that was also for a project of the eye, which actually was in black and white. The name is Immigrant by the Sea, and he's a guy from Uruguay. He's coming out of the sea, and a story, and it's the same topic, but I use an actor in that movie. Actually, I like to. It's like. Normally, when I like to experiment, like I told you before, I like to see that the life is something that happens spontaneously, and we are not putting or being so much in the lost in the thinking process. More, I like to work more from my gut, from my. So I like to use intuition, or like I say last time, I have the intuition that she could die, and that's what's happened. So I like to use spontaneity. So go and make a shot, and the shot is good. Leave it like this and go. So I don't like so much the back.
Yeah.
So
but is that not a little bit too much a cliche? I mean, I understand what you say.
Yeah, we are living in cliches sometimes, and that is we are human beings, and we are the same.
But like you say, you like to live in the past.
I don't like to live. When I compare societies, because I think that identity is not something connected to the individual, it's connected to all the society and all the group. I can feel the contrast of identity and this displacement, this feeling of tension when you go to live in a country that the perception of the life is so different, or is so, like I say, yeah. But we have the military in the 70s, the generation of my father. So this was also a dictator. Actually, he was together with Hitler because all the Nazis came there after the Second War. So our dictatorship in Argentina in the 70s is a consequence of many of the Nazis who traveled there after the Second War. And
imagine for a moment there are 4,000 human beings here. Everything from babies being held on the arm to men on crutches. All this humanity is here.
Siento el cantar de la chicharra con una conexión profunda con las memorias de mi infancia.
Okay, the tango. You say again, what is the tango? The tango is nostalgia.
No,
Tango
yeah,
is-
but nostalgia
Yes,
could become a cliche word, but it's like in Argentina, the people are always thinking in the sadness of the past, but not with the let's say not with this progressive mind. So, okay, now we can change this past and make a better future. Actually, sometimes I think that they are making sometimes a mess also. Because
You say Jodorowsky is symbolic. How can you steal or use his symbolic power in your own work? I mean, tell me,
yeah.
how? You steal idea from him, or you
No.
parallel
I
ideas?
think what I feel is that we are coming from similar places. From in South America, normally the culture and the art and everything, because the people, it's not because the art is coming from the people. The people are more symbolic in their mind. So the movie of Jodorowsky sometimes I say is extremely symbolic, but to the absurd total. And to
But you
the-
want also kind of symbolic,
Yes.
absurd symbolic
Yes.
in your films, no?
No, but for me
your
it's
film?
an inspiration to use kind of symbolism. For example, for me, the ant is a symbol of society, and the jellyfish is a symbol of movement in society.
Yeah.
So for me, animals and humans, they have patterns of behavior that are really similar. And like this, I can mention other things. Like for example, I have a movie where the telephone he look at the telephone and the telephone is broken in the glass. So what means in this society, all these symbols, we are living full of symbols everywhere. And of course, one of the critics sometimes I have in the last movie is like, but maybe you are too symbolic. But then, on another hand, some people tell me, yeah, but your culture is too symbolic sometimes. So I cannot escape from my culture. I cannot escape from my...
Why not?
Yeah,
If you hate
I
your
did.
culture, you can escape.
Yeah,
or
I escape in some way from the corruption and the mess in the country and all these politicians. And I decided to live in a progressive country and investing. But when I'm in this position, of course, you are making an interview. So, and you are putting the camera in this way.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
very
I
aggressive.
have to
Kind of very aggressive.
very close and
Yeah.
like a telephone. But I can say that I have to say something. And I don't like to give, I think I never make interview. If it's for me, I don't use TV at home. I don't care about about things happening in TV. But I like to watch internet, and when you tell me, it's YouTube, I say, okay, that could be interesting.